Okay, so this is an ECM, the SKIM module, the door lock, the ignition cylinder, and the trunk. Okay. I'm always doing multiple things here. So, all right, what can be seen? So this is the key. This turns the ignition cylinder. And insert it into our trunk lock. It turns our trunk lock. This is our door lock. Okay, car came with one key that I took apart. It is the original key. It is showing wear, so I would suggest getting new keys made. So that is just simply put right there. Okay, so here's the SKIM. That's how they come out. All right. I'm going to be removing the ECM bracket from this, so you can see. Just trying to grab something here, like this off. You can see it's actually an 05 ECM. Here is, that's pretty much, you're able to tell there's a little bit of red paint right here in the corner. It has no damage, no cracks, a little bit of dirt on the ECM itself. Let's grab a 10 mil here. Alright, I pulled the bracket off. It's going to make it easier for me to set it down in the car to actually get a test, because it's going to take up less room. Get this thing off. Now, I think I'm correct. This was in my car that I actually tested 2 motors in, but I'm going to make this video just showing so you can see what it's like to need to test one of these. Sometimes you'll get a car where people will think that the ECM is the issue. What I recommend the most for that is some places do have the software and stuff where they can plug this in. They can do a self-diagnostic on the ECM. I would assume that it's the same with the SKIM. But I would take the ECM out of the car that's not running right if you believe it's that, and I would install it into a car that is working and running if you have that availability. You would need this and this, all right? So let's walk out to the car. I'll show you what we're doing there. All right, so this is, right now, this is the only car that I have that's stock. It's actually my personal car. So I'm going to pull my catch can out of the way. I'm going to reach down here and I'm going to unplug those 3 big plugs on the computer. But first, I'm going to be disconnecting my battery, all right? So this is just a quick overview. I'm going to come in here. Now, obviously, the key is here. So you need a key. I'm going to pop this, probably this cover and these covers off. All right, then I'll drop this down. I'm going to remove the turn signal switch, and then I'll be able to gain access to the SKIM that is underneath here that it's bolted in. So these are T20s underneath here. There's 2 Phillips head screws. One's here, and one's here. Pop them off. There's Phillips head screws down here. I'll just pull out on this a little bit. It'll push on my gauges some, but I'll pull up on this, pop it out, and then I can drop this down. All right. And then there's 2 T20s here that hold the switch in, and I'll unplug the 2 plugs, the one for the headlights, turn signals, and there's one for the wipers. And that'll be removed out of the way, and you'll be able to see the SKIM. When I get the cover off, I'll turn the camera back on. Here's what you got. You can see the SKIM is here. And then here is our turn signal switch. Like I said, there's 2 T20s, and then back here, there's a locking clip and a locking clip. So we're gonna get those unplugged there. Pull this. I just want you to see that we have our windshield wipers on. That's it. that it does start and run. All right, that makes it a little easier to reach through here too, because I can turn it with that. Got it in neutral, so. All right, so blue car, we are revving it. All right, now I'm gonna get this out, and then we'll work on getting to the SKIM module. There's the switch. Switch is out. This has never had the SKIM removed, so it has the tape here. So it's going to kind of suck to push that apart, but I don't think I've even actually ever had this out of my own personal car. So like I said, it's the only one I have to test, but I have, this is a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to undo these. I've seen people pop them off of these. I don't like to do that because you can actually damage that. So I'm going to get these out. This here I'm probably just going to try to push through. Most of the time, like I said, if you've seen the other one, I usually just pop the tape off of it. So let's get that out. It's always good practice before you start unplugging stuff to unhook your battery. And we did that. So down here, there's a little black plug for your SKIM. This kind of just lifts up like that and will come out. And you need your key. You'll insert your key, turn it to the on position, and down underneath the column, there's actually right here in front of my finger, grab a screwdriver, there's this. This pushes in and allows the cylinder to come out. If you don't have the key, you cannot remove the cylinder like that. All right. So this right here, this is from the test computer. So this is the ignition and the SKIM. So I'm gonna set SKIM down in here. Push my wiring up out of the way. All you need to do is get this sitting down here in place. All right, plug it in. Make sure this is turned to the on position, or this will not depress. We're actually too far. Sorry. Two hand job to hold that. So this pushes in, key comes out, key goes in. So you have your start. All right, so we are completely done inside the car. All right, so I'm gonna come out here to the outside. Right now at this point, as we have our battery disconnected, I need to remove this out of the way, and hopefully I can reach in here and I can get these wires pulled up far enough I can set the other ECM right there. So I'm gonna go grab the socket I need. I have all three of the plugs unplugged. Here's our ECM. If you look at this, it will sit this way. So there's only three: black, orange, and white. Green is actually for an automatic computer. So I'm going to use both hands. I'm going to get down in here, and once this is installed, we are ready to test this ECM. Battery is hooked up. ECM is all plugged in. There it sits. Now let's come over here. Let's cycle on our key. Our old stuff is still there. All right, you can tell different key: StarTech, Dodge key. Fuel pump kicks on. Engine starts right up. All right, check it out. So it's that easy just to swap this around to get a good test. I usually like to do this on all of the ones that I have so that I know that they work. I usually always try to make a video, that way I have it from memory because of so many different cars. But there you go, that's your key and SKIM all tested out on that computer. Since we just got done testing that one, we have stuff going here. Here's another one. You can tell it's different because it does have some rust around the edges. That's what the top of the case looks like. There's our sides, the bottom. We do have a tag here. This one's an 04, the other one was an 05. 12/3 of 04. This could still be an 05. That's the part number. All right, see, we got a different part number. 83 1AA 2048E. So this one is an 04 for sure. So we have our skim. Just bumped it there a little bit. So I'm going to set the camera up like before. Hopefully we can get a decent view here. So this obviously will not come with this because it was for an alarm that was installed in the car that was removed at one time and is no longer with it. So we don't need that. All right, good. Go on. All right, so lock cylinder, turns, key comes in, out. All right. We have a door cylinder for this one, and it does not work. So this was obviously, this computer was swapped out at one time, so there's no sense to include this for that because it doesn't work. All right, so we do have a working thing here. The trunk cylinder was totally different too. So I pulled this from a car that had a bad motor. So I still have the motor sitting here. And as they say it, the piston left the chat. So I'm going to go install this out here into my personal car. This one is stock. Just like I did the last one, we're going to plug that in there. We're going to install these. We have our battery disconnected. So as soon as I get this up and installed, we're going to start this one up. Key skim is installed. All right, we got fuel pump. Neutral, just common sense check. All right, there's that. Good and working. Let me just so you can see. This computer here is sitting there, and that's the one that matches that skim. So we know we have another good working 04 ECM right here. And yeah, I mean, check it out. Working and running good. All right, let's do the code check here. Just to make sure. Like I said, we don't have any light. Now, the reason why the airbag light's on is because this one had airbag seats. You can see I have the sensors disconnected. I actually have it unplugged by see, I screwed it back in. Cool. It's actually been plugged from the module, so none of the airbags will go off, but shut it off. Done. No codes in this ECM. All right. Let's do a startup. Good to go. All right, so I'm gonna get this one pulled, and I'm just gonna end the video there. I just kind of wanted to add this a little bit on the end, but that's how you basically install and remove an ECM and skim and key set from car to car. You do need the key to get it out of the column, or you can swap the whole column, but I would think at that point you probably don't have the key, so I wouldn't do that. But if you want to swap anything out to test it, that's all you got to change, and that's what's involved. Just don't forget to unhook your battery. That way you eliminate any chances of any problems. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this was something to learn from.